Welcome here now, Joan Starr. Joan, what are your recollections of that horrible World War II?
Well, Darren, I was born during the war, and I was born in Royal Oak Estate, which is just nearby here. And my mother told me that when I was born, she knew in the morning that I was going to be born that day. So the midwife was coming round to the house, and she said that actually it was 6 o'clock. And she still hadn't got undressed when the midwife came. So I think that's why I'm always on the run myself. Now I do recall a couple of memories. One particular was that the man next door, who was a gardener, decided that he was going to he dug a great big hole in his back garden, and into that hole, like a pond, he dug, and he filled it with water, and he got some ducks. Well, and on the pond, however, my mum had just recently put a rug on the washing line, because they used to do that. They put it on the washing line and beat it with the finger. And when her back was turned, the ducks got out of the pond, and they nibbled all the way round this mat, this rug, and it was all frayed, and she just went, she was very cross about it. Yeah. Anyway, something happened, and the ducks went. And so he then decided he could fill in the hole, and this whole of his back garden he planted with cabbages. Well, very nice, he's growing his own cabbages. However, the butterfly, the whites, of course, the cabbage butterfly, had a great time, and they laid their eggs. And of course, when their eggs hatched, they were caterpillars. So we're infested in our garden, as well as his, with caterpillars that walked up the walls. I can remember looking out of the back bedroom window, seeing a caterpillar coming up the window pane. Yes, so that was, again, we're not very pleased about that. And I recall that at the end of the war, my mother, when they heard that it was victory in Europe, she told me this later, because I didn't know what she was doing. But she went down and into Moss Side, to where there was what they would call a Shara place, where you could get a coach. And Finglands, I think it was. And she asked Finglands, how much would it cost to come to Wythenshawe, to Royal Oak, and take a party of people to the Blackpool for the day, you see, and return, of course. She got a price, she came home, she knocked on everyone's door locally. She went all round and to ask, would you like to come, would you like to come, and how much it would cost. And she filled the coach with folk, and they were charged to cover the cost of it, yes. And look, we all went, and I can remember that my brother, because I just had one brother, no sisters, he'd been paddling in the brook that runs through Wythenshawe Park, and he cut his big toe open, and he'd had to go to the local doctor who stitched it up. And he was sitting at the back, on the back seat, with his foot in the air, you know, with his toe in a great big bandage, and saying, mind me toe, mind me toe, mind me toe. But we all had a wonderful day out to Blackpool, thanks to my mum. And it was a great success, so she did it the following year. So, but there's another memory, which my late husband, Derek, told me about, because he was born just before the war. And he said, again, as other folk have said, that there was this lady. She was a very nice lady, and she was, I say her name was Kitty. Now, Kitty entertained all the children when they went into the air raid shelters, and they loved her because she was quite friendly with some of the Americans. And of course, the ladies liked her because she could get stockings, you see. And the kids loved her because she's got sweeties. And yes, and she was a lovely lady. This lady, we will call Kitty, as Derek would say, I will say, she was very generous with her favours. and she enjoyed a nice night out, you see. And she used to go dancing. And she would go to a place called Burton Wood, where the Americans were, you see, dance the night away. Well, Kitty, as I say, was generous with her favours. And one night, obviously Derek's mum told him about this. Kitty, who was at Burton Wood, had met this lovely man, soldier, and she said to him, where are you stationed, like? And he said that he was stationed. Where he was stationed, right. Oh, would you like me to come back with you? So he was going back on the train, he said. She said, would you like me to come back on the train with you, you know, and I'll come back with you and then I'll come back home. And he said, oh yeah, Kerry, yeah, I'd love that. So Kitty gets on the train with him, you see, and she drops asleep. Yeah. Anyway, she eventually wakes up and he's got his arm around her, being very gentlemanly. And come on, Kerry, let's get off the train. So she gets off the train and she notices that the station's called Norwich in Norfolk. And she said to him, what am I doing here? He said, well, this is where I'm stationed, Kitty. She said, I thought you said Northwich. So she had to get on the train and come all the way back. Yes, and anyway, that was the story about Kitty. Yes, but Derek said he had, to him, it was really, as others have said, he was not frightened. They loved the Americans, and also that going around collecting the shrapnel, and he said too, as Margaret had, that they used to swap shrapnel and so on. Yes, but that's all I remember. But until after the war, I do remember that there were still coupons for sugar. Yeah, I can remember that. Yeah.
Well,
so that's it, Darren.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. That was lovely.